Hey folks, welcome to Transplant Helper today. My name is Jim Merle. I want to pause for just a moment today and do something I've been doing for quite a while, and that is pausing to answer viewer questions. Now, if you've not already submitted a question to this program, let me encourage you to do that. You can do it over my Twitter page, transplant_help. You can do it at my Facebook page, The Transplant Helper, or even more than that, do it right beneath one of these videos in the comment box. That would be outstanding. But nonetheless, I hope you'll submit those questions. And if you've already submitted questions in the past, thank you so much for them, especially for the one we're talking about today. And that is basically today's question is, Jim, can I go fishing after transplant? The answer to that question in general is absolutely yes. If you enjoy fishing, if it benefits you, and I know it would, especially if you're willing to get outdoors, spend some time in the fresh air, and do something relaxing, that would be absolutely perfect. However, when we go out fishing, there are certain precautions we need to take in order to make sure we better protect our bodies, keeping in mind that we as transplant patients are immunosuppressed. That is, we're not going to be able to fight off the same things as far as viruses and bacteria and such that maybe we did sometime before transplant. So with that said, there's two things I want you to be sure to avoid. In the first place, I want you to avoid using dead or stinking baits, things such as chums, old rotted chicken livers or rotted pieces of meat, that sort of thing, which can sometimes make good baits depending on the type of fish that you're after. Avoid using that type of bait. You need to steer more nowadays post-transplant to artificial baits or to live baits, to things that are going to be much cleaner, much safer, and not going to have the bacteria. So just keep that precaution in mind that you don't need to be around the chums, that sort of thing, like maybe you once used. Just stick with the more artificial or at least the live baits. Little minnows, crickets, worms, whatever. Deal with that. You'll be much better off. And even then, be sure to wash your hands very good before and even after fishing. And at some point, maybe take hand sanitizer with you and keep a good coat on it while you're in the process, if that's at all possible, if you don't scare off the fish. But anyway, the second thing you need to keep in mind is that if you're going to choose to go fishing post-transplant, you need to be careful about the bodies of water in which you find yourself fishing, and especially when it concerns stagnant waters. Things such as small ponds, stagnant streams, creeks, that sort of thing are probably better off avoided because they have in and around them certain bacteria, certain molds, mildews, just all sorts of things that you really need to be steering clear of post-transplant. That doesn't have so much to do with it affecting your organ directly. For my case, the heart, it has more to do with getting upper respiratory infections and other little bugs in our bodies that can really be problematic. So let me encourage you, if you're going to go fishing, steer for the larger bodies of water. Obviously, the ocean will be the best, but that's not possible in all of our cases. And by the way, I don't even like fishing in the ocean. But no, anyway, steer toward a larger river, steer toward faster moving water. So if it's a stream, make sure it's one that the water's constantly moving in, where there's not as much time for those bacteria and mold and funguses to grow out. So just stay away from the small ponds, the stagnant waters, and steer up toward the larger ponds, the moving streams, or even the rivers are the best. But even in that, be very careful when you're there, because it's not that you'll pick up so much as far as respiratory type infections, but you have to be careful because if you're like I am, I don't think I've ever been fishing when I hadn't stuck a hook in my finger, something like that. And obviously, if you turn and put your hand back into the pond, maybe to pull out that large bass or catfish, whatever you're after, you're probably going to cause yourself a problem. So again, stay clean, wash up before and after, and even during if you need to. Just make sure that you're clear. And I realize there are a lot of folks that when this question comes up, they immediately comment back and say, hey, I've been fishing anywhere and everywhere I want to after my transplant, and I'm just fine. Well, I'm glad that you are, but I'm one that suffered with a virus, or I think it's a virus, whatever it was, a bacteria, a fungus in my lung called Cryptococcus, and it is highly likely for you to get that if you're around those stagnant waters. And if you want to look up Cryptococcus, I'll be happy to put a link beneath it in the show notes here. I would encourage you to check it out. You do not want it. Very, very dangerous. Could have been even potentially deadly. And so, kind of learn my lesson the hard way. I won't be fishing in areas like that anymore. But anyway, I appreciate you pausing to watch this little brief program. I hope that you'll take this tip for what it is. It's just the best advice that I have, and I appreciate the question that was submitted, and I encourage you, get out there and go fishing if that's what you enjoy. But until next time, I want to encourage everybody here, Stay stronger, friends.